Hello, this is Benham, and in this video I'm going to talk quickly about the effect of correlation in the efficient frontier line. So basically, you may recall from my previous video recording that we made efficient frontier line using two stocks, Apple and Citigroup, wherein we also saw the minimum variance point given by this orange looking spot on this efficient frontier. But what we want to talk in this video is basically what happens to this efficient frontier line when we change this correlation. So this correlation here between the return of Apple and Citigroup stocks, the real correlation is 20.88%. So what happens if we change this? And here you see the main objective of discussion is about reducing the risk. Hence the reason why we also talked in my previous video about minimum variance point. So when we reduce the risk, basically risk is here on the horizontal axis. So here 0.02 is the risk, whereas here 0.1 is the risk, or 10%. And if you go further on this line, it goes to 14%. So now what we want to do is what happens to this efficient frontier line when we change the correlation. So that's something we want to see, and I can tell you that when we focus on the correlation coefficient, what does it mean when the correlation coefficient is +1? +1 basically means it is perfectly positive correlated. This then basically means the return received from Apple is not different from the return received from Citigroup, isn't it? Because when Apple moves up, Citi also moves up in the same ratio. So basically we can see that effect. So what I will do here first, instead of 20.88, I will change it to, let's say, 0.50. So 20% has been increased to 50%. So let's see what happens. Oh, this line is not as curved as it was before when we increased the correlation coefficient from 20.88 to 50%. How about we change it to 70%? It's still becoming something like this. How about we change it to 80% now? Okay, and let's change it finally 95%. Oh, it's becoming very much a straight line. And finally we change it to 1 or 100%. Sorry, let me write it 100, and this becomes a complete straight line. So when we change it to 100% or +1, then we saw that the efficient frontier line is not the curve but a straight line. So that's something we can capture and paste in the slide to indicate what happens when it is perfect positive correlation. The line will be of this shape. So here you are indicating that there is 100% investment here and 100% here. As you can see, this point is telling you 1254 is the risk and 0.01 is the return. So that's the point you saw here at the end when the investment in, this is the point we're talking about there. Yep, so perfect positive correlation is giving you this 1254 and not 1, and therefore it is becoming a straight line. Now let's go back to the original correlation level, which was 20.88, and that's something we can see here. Again, I just need to put the two arrays and I get that. So now instead of increasing the correlation, let's start to decrease. Let's say make it 0.5. 10%, and that doesn't make much difference. So basically, what we're saying, when we are getting closer to 0 or 0, then what it is doing is the returns on assets will have no predictive relationship. Okay, so that's when it is 0 and we didn't see much change as well. But now what happens when the correlation is -1 or when it goes below 0? Okay, so let's make it below 0, like minus 0.1. Okay, oh sorry, minus 0.1. Let me change the number here again, or minus 10%, let's say. Or it is stretching towards this side, so let me do it again. Minus 20%, further stretching it. So what is happening here then? Minus 40%. It's further stretching. So I want to show you some diagram, and I'm going to type negative correlation in efficient frontier. Okay, maybe I'll get some diagram to show you here. Yeah, exactly. See, it is stretching more and more towards the less standard deviation. So it is going on this side. Okay, as you can see, all the diagrams are doing the same thing. So here as well, I'm now increasing further, minus 90% then. So it is coming more close towards 0 volatility, 0 standard deviation. And therefore you can change it to minus 100%, which is a perfect negative correlation. When one moves up, another moves down. So that basically means the risk of loss in one is completely offset by the other, the return. So that's what you will get. And in fact, when you will have a full range of weights, what you can do, if you do something like -1, you will see it becomes like this. Okay, this is the same set of data as here. It's just that over here I have, the way I have organized the weights, I have smaller frequencies of the weight. Okay, but it is just to illustrate the effect of correlation on the efficient frontier. So we can see when it is perfect positive correlation, the shape of the diagram is, oh, it's taking the same diagrams because it is embedded. So what I can do here, I can delete this, and now I can take negative 100%. So I can copy this and put it in my slide, which is here for negative. So I will paste it as picture so that I get like this, and it is not going to be attached with here, and this is 100%. Then let's see the straight line I get, and that's something I can copy and put it in the slide, and you understand what is happening. Again, let me paste it as picture, and that's what I get. And finally, when it is 0, I mean, there is no predictive relationship as we said, and it doesn't change much. So I can put it here. And finally, the one that we are interested is when the actual correlation is established. So that is going to be, that was actually not 0.2088. So that's what I can write, and I can take this and put it here. And that way I have been able to show you the effect of correlation. And what is important to remember is the negatively correlated returns of stocks are important, and that way the risk will be minimized. And in terms of the diagram, the risk gets lower when this line stretches on this side, which, if you think of the map, we're talking about northwest. So moving from northeast to northwest, if you think of a map, that will basically minimize the risk in the efficient frontier diagram. And that's what you are seeing in these diagrams as well. Yeah, so correlation and risk reduction, perfect negative correlation, that's the red line as shown here. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you.